Hi, good morning. How's it going, guys? We're starting a little bit early today. We have a busy day, so we're just a little bit early. And I know a lot of people usually mention that we kind of cut in sometimes while people are at work. So we're trying to see if we can do different times for us to be live so everybody can see us. And if you can't see us, then we're going to be posting this on our YouTube and our Planoly blog. So if you're just now joining us, or you're seeing this after the 24 hours, or you want to see it again, it'll be on our Planoly blog. Hi everybody, let me know if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Lunchtime may work, but I feel like everybody, so we're based in Austin, and then we have people all over the world that follow us, so we're just trying to find a middle ground where this works for everybody. So maybe it's like 9 a.m. Austin time, so that way it's like New York is barely hitting work, or we'll see. Maybe more people join during this time. But we're just trying to find, we'll probably do a poll to see what time works for everybody. So that way you guys can join us live and you can ask us questions in real time. Sorry, I kind of have a sore throat today, so bear with me. But today we're going to be talking a little bit about why, and it's funny, it's actually a question somebody had asked me at our General Assembly panel last week. If you joined us, thank you for coming. But somebody had asked, how do you, as a brand, create a personality? Or how do you, balance personality versus brand? And I think it's something very important that a lot of brands struggle with. And there's a lot of brands that we follow personally that have done an amazing job that I think we can learn a lot of lessons from. So if you guys have any questions on how to develop your brand personality and how to sell without being so salesy, let us know. I think it's very, very important, especially in the digital age. We're constantly being sold to. We're seeing ads left and right. A lot of posts that we see from influencers that we follow are sponsored. So how do you break through that noise and stay true to not only your brand and what you're selling, but also resonating with your audience in the way that, one, they'll follow you organically because they love your brand and they love your message, but you're not pushing product to them all the time. So who and what is your brand? I think one thing to definitely break, right off the bat, is to understand what is your brand, who is your brand rather than what is your brand? Or do you think of a logo rather than a personality? If you're thinking of a logo, then you have a lot of work to do. I think it's definitely important to establish that your brand is a personality rather than just a logo or a product. For example, I think of one thing that comes right off the bat is progressive, like the progressive girl. I think of the progressive girl rather than insurance. So it's kind of like balancing that personality and knowing, okay, that's this is our brand and this is our product, but we also have a very strong personality behind it. That's really funny. I think one thing that you definitely want to, that's a strong suit for a lot of brands, is kind of hitting that funny bone. And coming off more as something that people will enjoy seeing on, TV or be it their social channels, rather than just they're selling me insurance again. Because insurance is not exciting, I'm pretty sure. And then there's a lot of products that aren't really that exciting, so you have to build on a personality behind it. And if it's not a face, for example, the progressive girl, what's the lifestyle behind your brand? What is it that your brand wants to kind of what does it want to inspire for its audience? For example, Away, the luggage company, they sell luggage, but they're much more than that. They are kind of a lifestyle travel brand, rather than just luggage. I think they've done an amazing job rather than just okay, we sell luggage, but they've done a content magazine where they um, you know, kind of like define travel in a worldwide aspect for the millennial and also like even a little bit older audience. So it's like, okay, I can go to Away, not just for luggage, but I can go to them for travel tips or how to like live an amazing like travel lifestyle, you know? Victoria, is there a blogger that exemplifies this? Yes, there's a few. I mean, I think a lot of influencers have done a pretty great job. I mean, there's still a handful that kind of like stay behind the camera, but there's a few that have done like an amazing job of showing their personality. Like I think of Ami Song, when she dived into YouTube, she kind of started showing off her face a little bit more rather than just like her outfits. And you can really see who she is behind the lens, like rather behind, like in front of the lens, rather than just being a style influencer. You can see her personality. She's a really, really funny person and is really creative. And like, I think the ones that have a YouTube channel and have shown more that like, okay, I'm more than just like a girl who posts out pictures of my outfits. Like those are the ones that have done a really great job and grown their brand. With aside from just being like a blogger. One other thing is that how do you give your brand how do you like give your brand a voice rather than just, you know, being a brand, like a somebody to follow on social, which goes to show like really being connected to your audience rather than just like waiting for followers to come through and people to give you likes and comments. You have like engagement at the end of the day is a two-way street. Social media is a two-way street. So you can't expect a bunch of people to follow you if you're not reciprocating the love back. So it's a matter of like, think back to when you like tweeted a brand or DM'd them on Instagram and they were like replied almost instantly. Those are the brands that you really like want to follow, take notes from, because they're the ones who are really leading the charge and being engaging with their audience and being connected, and you know, not just like waiting for people to follow them. Like it's the one thing that you have to understand, especially as a brand, not just as an influencer, but if you're growing your brand, is that a lot of people are going to be following you. A lot of the people that are following you, a lot of people that are looking at your profile aren't people that are following you. So it's kind of it's a very hard number, like a hard like mark to look at when you're constantly looking at numbers and it's like, why am I not growing? Why am I not growing? Those are not an exact reflection of the people that follow you or the people that are going to your profile all the time. So you have to keep that in mind too. Another thing is that back to being connected, it's a matter of really exercising and establishing that voice, and kind of like being like the funny, like hitting people's funny bone. I feel like the brands that really hit the funny bone are the most successful. And I think of like Wendy's and Denny's, like especially Wendy's, whoever is their social media manager deserves a raise like every few months, because their clapbacks on social media are hilarious. If you do not follow Wendy's on Twitter, I suggest you do, as well as Denny's. They're so funny. I think they've really understood that like we're in a meme generation, so people are only going to follow funny accounts. So they've really capitalized on that and done an amazing job while like selling food, which is like crazy. But I love following Denny's and Wendy's. Like they really know how to stay relevant. And not corny, because there's a lot of brands who do it and then they like come off so corny. It's like, you're trying so hard. But whoever is their social media manager, whoever's their writer, they have an amazing person behind the phone or like behind TweetDeck, because they're amazing. I definitely suggest you follow them, take some notes from them. And it's like those little things, like every few like tweets that they do, it's all through word of mouth. And then that's another thing, like social media growth goes through word of mouth. That's the best growth that you can find, like via word of mouth. And people are always talking about Wendy's and Denny's because they're so funny. And people follow them, and then subconsciously you develop that brand loyalty, and people might not know it. Like me, I don't go to Wendy's or Denny's all the time, like once in a blue moon, but I like already have that brand loyalty. Like if I think that I'm going to go to like Denny's versus IHOP, I'm gonna go to Denny's because I follow them on Twitter and I think that they're really funny. So kind of want to replicate that for your own brand at the end of the day. And also, if you're not going to be, like, if you know your brand is a little bit more serious, you don't have to be funny, but just make sure that you're building a relationship with your audience, and give them some more value rather than just the product that you're selling. So it goes from being a resource for your audience. We actually do this a lot for Planoly, rather than, just pushing the app. We give you a lot of resources on the blog. We want to kind of be, the place for you to go for any social media advice. And we're not selling that to you. We're just telling you to go to the blog. Do that for your own brand. Give some more value aside from the product that you're selling. Back to Away, they have a magazine that they have at their brick and mortar stores if you purchase something, but it's like I think it's a quarterly magazine that they just showcase like women and or travelers that are really doing an amazing job in the space of travel, and do features on them. And they even do news. Like, it's really, really good. And at the end of the day, you're not if you don't want to buy like a luggage set, you can just get the magazine and read their amazing content. So capitalize on content if that's another thing that you could do. And at the end of the day, building an organic relationship. That's like the most valuable relationship that you can build with the people who follow you, rather than just, waiting for likes to come in from the last ad campaign that you did. Make sure that every communication that you put out is something that is very organic. I mean, well, not like organic, because a lot of posts that you may do are ads, but can gravitate towards an organic conversation and organic relationship with your audience. Another thing, people hate to be sold, so you have to sell without selling via social media. I think this is like the big advantage of social media, is just creating an audience and creating conversations. So like I mentioned, word of mouth is definitely important when you're creating content on social media. Make sure that it makes some noise. I think like brands like Glossier have done an amazing job in establishing a very strong social media presence before they even started doing brick and mortar stores in New York, and doing traditional advertising on like streets. So they've already built a very strong cult following before they did any of those things. So a lot of the people that already follow Glossier are like diehard fans. I'm a diehard Glossier fan. I'll probably always like mention them in our lives, but they're just like the brand that they've established is amazing, and like you can take so many notes from them. So definitely look at them, because not only do they sell skincare, but they sold a lifestyle. They're selling an aesthetic. So looking at them and seeing how they market their brand, not just their product, is very, very important. Because I follow Glossier and I look at them for like inspiration, rather than like, oh, they're selling this, that, and this. Also, looking at their stories, their stories and their highlights feature, they've done such an amazing job for that. Like, just look at Glossier. Like, I take all my notes from them. And another note from them is that they've established not only a cult following, but a community. Like, people love to share the products, because it's just like they've established that lifestyle. I don't think that they've like other brands, skincare brands, have really done this as well as they have. Sorry, I'm talking about Glossier and how they've done social media and how they've grown their brand from just being like a social media brand, online brand, to being brick and mortar and doing traditional advertising. Also, if you guys are just joining us, this will be live for the next 24 hours. And if you missed that, then we'll put this on our YouTube so you can see it later. But yeah, they're really, really, really great in selling the lifestyle and the aesthetic. Like, I'm constantly inspired by them. Not because of like the balm.com. Like, it's a product at the end of the day. Like, it's just a little lip balm. But the way that they've done their like photo shoots, the way that they establish their brand direction, it's like something I really, really admire. So you definitely want to do the same for your brand. And capitalizing on your community. So like I mentioned earlier, Glossier has done an amazing job in already establishing their community beforehand. And a lot of influencers have already done this as well. So if Glossier were the person, she'd be the coolest. Yes. Well, the founder is the coolest too. She was a blogger before. So that goes to show it. To my next point, like, a lot of these brands have been established from influencers because they've already known how it is, that they already know how to create a following and capitalize on it. So, oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot her name, but the founder, she was an influencer beforehand. And actually, let me look it up because this is really going to bug me now. 1 second. Our internet's a little slow, but to my point, a lot of these influencers have Emily Weiss, and she had Into the Gloss beforehand. Before Glossier, she had Into the Gloss, led to Glossier. Yes, Taylor, Emily Weiss. So, yeah, she's like the coolest. I think she's a very, she's made Glossier to look very much like her brand. And so, like, aside from her, other influencers that I've noticed have done this is like Gabby Fresh, who started her swimsuits for all line. Nadia Abul Hossein, who started her own fashion line. Carla Dara started the line by Kay. So a lot of these influencers who've like been bloggers since like 2009, like OG bloggers, really capitalized on their following and realized there's a business to be made out of here. So they, basically their boss babes, and realized that there was a brand, like they already had the brand loyalty. So their brands, once they were launched, already had brand loyalty, which is pretty hard to say for traditional brands that weren't developed from social media. So if you're an influencer and you've already established like an amazing following and a great brand loyalty, maybe try to dive into your products. Like, maybe if it's, another way to do this is, if you don't want to start like a product line, is affiliate marketing and letting your audience know where you got certain things, because they already trust you and trust your taste. So they're going to want to buy like stuff that you wear. So capitalize on affiliate links, because if they buy off of your links, then you get commission, which is why you should use Stylink. And you can learn more about Stylink if you are looking to monetize your content. We offer Stylink for Planoly users, and it's all within Planoly. So I will actually put a link in the next story after this for anybody to apply. If you want to apply for Stylink, definitely encourage you to do that so you can capitalize on all your products. And yes, we do have beauty products. So we have so much stuff on Stylink. We have sorry, bear with me, like, I'm sore throat. No. We have a lot of fashion products, a lot of amazing brands. We have like Uniqlo, we have Gap, we actually have Glossier. We have a lot of home decor stuff. We have a lot of beauty products. We have hair products like Kerastase. So many. And for a lot of the products that you probably already use every day, you can definitely monetize those via our Stylink affiliate network. So more information on that will be on the next slide. If you're watching this after or you're going back to our stories, it'll be on our stories for you to apply. But yeah, that's one thing that I would say, like making sure that, if you do have the following, capitalize on it. These influencers like Nadia Abulhosn and like Emily Weiss with Glossier and Carla Darris with The Line by Kay have done an amazing job by that. And even with their brands, they don't sell, like they sell, but they're not like sales people at your door. Like that's the last thing that people want. Because at the end of the day, like how many times have you guys just like skipped through ads or skipped through like being sold through a product? Like if it doesn't show a lifestyle, if it doesn't show the face behind the brand, like the voice behind the brand, you want to make sure that people follow you because they probably already use your brand. So if you're going to be selling, make sure that you're capitalizing on Facebook ads or Instagram ads, because you want to target the people that don't already follow you, that don't know your brand and probably need to be introduced to it. That's one thing that you definitely want to make sure of. Learn how to navigate people not being wanting to sold to, because at the end of the day, like I had mentioned earlier, a lot of people who already follow or who go to your profile aren't really following you. They'll visit your profile constantly, but they probably don't follow you. According to Instagram, 2/3 of profile visits to businesses come from people who aren't following that business. So as a brand, I would focus on the people who don't follow you rather than the people that do, because the people who already follow you already like have earned your brand loyalty. So make sure that you're targeting the right people with Facebook ads. If you're selling like a sale or a product, I mean, that's why newsletters are available for people, because then that's how they know like a sale is going on this weekend for 50% off all sale products. Make sure that you're very strategic with the way that you sell, because selling on Instagram, like on your profile, and your public profiles can be kind of a turnoff. I can't think of many times where I'm like, oh my god, another ad, like seriously, like it just makes me want to hit unfollow. So, and I know I'm not the only one who feels like this. There's many other people, I'm sure you guys do too. So make sure that you're selling strategically. That's how I'll put it. Because the more you sell, the more you're bound to lose followers. Like I mentioned, nobody likes a salesman at their door, so be strategic. And at the end of the day, like I think it's just a matter of selling the lifestyle and the personality, not the product. That's why you have like a website to sell. That's why you have a brick and mortar to sell. That's where you should focus to sell. Your Instagram and everything else is that should be to the side. Like build those for your personality, your brand personality. Being human is the most important part of selling. Thank you, 512 Studio. That is probably narrows it down. Yeah, you want to be human. Let your brand be a human. Let people know that there is like a person behind the brand. So I think that's kind of the gist of it. So with that said, that kind of wraps up our weekly today. If you guys have any questions about this, let us know, or DM us. We're always available. Yes, let your brand be human. Let it be personal. Yes. So yeah, with that said, we'll talk next week. Next week we'll be back on next week we'll be at Blogettes conference. So if you guys will be at the Blogettes, the workshop, say hi. We'll be having our booth there. We're really excited. We have a lot of cool stuff going on this month, including New York Fashion Week. So if you see us in Phoenix or New York, make sure to say hi. We'll be tuning in and giving you guys a behind the scenes on all of the stuff that we're doing this month. And then South by is next month. If you guys are in town in Austin for South by Southwest, make sure to say hi. We'll be around. But yeah, if you guys also want to check out all of the topics that we'll be doing this month, they're on the Planoly blog. So make sure to check out the topics there. And if you guys have any topics that you guys want us to cover, we're always have our ears open to new ideas. So make sure to let us know in our DMs. But with that said, we'll chat next week and have an amazing weekend, guys. Bye.